Welcome. Once again, thanks for tuning into the Teddy Mack Show. Really don't have a lot to say. I'm gonna let the video speak for us. This is disgusting. Y'all voted for this.
Good news. In less than 2 months, the greatest political comeback in American history, it will be official. Joe Biden, along with his entire pathetic administration, they will be out of the White House, and not a moment, frankly, too soon. After trying to put his chief political rival in prison with a weaponized DOJ, Biden will hand over the keys to Donald Trump, whether they like it or not, and leave office as the worst, most corrupt, most incompetent, most divisive one-term president in modern American history. And his final act as commander-in-chief, well, is very much on brand. Instead of working to make the country a better place in his final days in office, Joe Biden is solely focused on sabotaging the incoming Trump administration while also making some very dumb and, frankly, even dangerous decisions. Now, that doesn't seem to make any sense at all to anybody, does it, except them? All vengeance. Now, for example, according to reports, Biden is now trying to quickly offload construction materials that you paid for that were to be used for the border wall that they stopped building. They're selling him at really low discount prices. What does that mean? That will force the incoming administration to spend more of your money to buy the new materials to complete the wall that Donald Trump says he's going to complete, and he will complete. He thinks he's hurting Trump, but all he's really doing here is wasting your money, all of it spiteful vengeance. At the same time, Biden just made it easier for illegal immigrants during his final weeks in office, allowing them to bypass in-person ICE check-ins with a new app. And according to reports, he is now letting in as many illegal immigrants, unvetted, of course, as possible to thwart the Trump agenda. What, more murderers, rapists, cartel members, gang members? Let's see. More drug dealers. Is that what he's doing? More terrorists? And now, not only is our southern border a disaster, but illegal crossings from Canada, they too are skyrocketing. And you have hundreds of terrorist suspects that have been arrested. Biden is not only leaving Trump with wide open borders, but he is creating the greatest national security nightmare danger to all of you. And that's waiting to happen. I hope it doesn't. Overseas, Biden is actively sabotaging Donald Trump's upcoming peace efforts. He knows that Trump wants negotiated settlements in the Middle East. He knows he wants them in Europe. He's supplying now Joe Biden is Ukraine with long-range missiles and escalating a conflict that pretty much has long been a stalemate. He also, by the way, pumped another $20 billion of your hard-earned tax dollars, your money, into Ukraine to help prolong this conflict. Now, since the fall of the Soviet Union, we have never been this close to a nuclear war. Even Vladimir Putin changed his nuclear policy because of the weapons that Joe Biden is giving Zelensky in Ukraine. But Democrats, they're also now attempting to pass legislation to limit Trump's authorization of America's nuclear arsenal. By the way, that would be clearly unconstitutional. And meanwhile, in the Middle East, the U.S. is currently targeting Syria with a barrage of airstrikes after U.S.-backed rebel groups toppled Assad. And there are now fears that ISIS might take power. Joe, take the next 38 days off, go to the beach. You're doing more harm than good. And back at home, Biden's chief of staff, well, is openly encouraging the administration in their last 38 days to spend as much money as possible in their final weeks in order to fund woke projects and leave Donald Trump even more burdensome debt.
Man, this is ridiculous. I mean, you people voted for this. I mean, this man is trying to destroy the country on his way out the door. And you people still haven't woken up to the Democrat Party. These people are straight up evil. Evil. The snake is showing his head right now. If y'all still vote Democrat, you need to check yourself.
But that's not Donald Trump's debt. That's your children's debt and your grandchildren's debt. And over at the DOJ, a watchdog was, quote, struck by the sheer magnitude of new hires as the Biden administration is trying to, quote, Trump-proof the DOJ by hiring permanent appointees to some federal positions. And of course, the White House is trying to ram through federal judges at a record pace. And Joe is also now reportedly considering preemptive pardons for many of his friends in the Washington swamp. That would include people you know: Hillary Clinton, Liz Cheney, Dr. Anthony Fauci. Benny Thompson is begging to be on the list as well. Now, he and Liz Cheney were on the January 6th committee. Are they trying to hide something? Did they lie? Did they commit any crimes in that sham January 6th committee with a predetermined outcome? But we're supposed to believe that the people that raided Trump's house, spied on his communications, indicted him on, nearly 100 cooked up felonies as he was running for president. Now, all of a sudden, they're worried about a weaponized DOJ. Maybe they fear what they did to Donald Trump and others. Maybe they're fearing that will be done to them. I don't think it should be, but probably that's what they're thinking. The hypocrisy, duplicity from the Biden administration is it's believable, but almost unbelievable. Now, this might be the most dishonest, the least transparent White House in American history. So the drone or flying object, or the thing that people describe as a big bus that sounds like a Harley, story that emerged this week is right on par. There are now hundreds, maybe even thousands of credible accounts. There's plenty of videos, plenty of pictures showing these very large, very sophisticated objects flying at very low altitudes over the U.S. In fact, New Jersey Senator Andy Kim went with local law enforcement last night. He filmed it himself. He put it on X. Quote, "We saw a few that looked like they were moving in small clusters of 2 to 4. Now, we clearly saw several that would move horizontally and then immediately switch back in the opposite direction in maneuvers that planes just can't do." Then he continued, quote, "Officers said that they tried to get a closer, look with a helicopter, but that the drones would turn off their lights and go dark if approached. Even, he's not the smartest guy in the world, but even their governor in New Jersey finally reached out to the Biden administration and demanded more concrete information." The first sighting was November the 18th. But so far, the Biden White House is still pretending not to have any answers at all whatsoever, and even suggested that nothing is actually happening. Make no mistake, something's going on. The administration, in all likelihood, knows what it is. And if they don't know, that would trouble me even more. That would be downright scary. And if they're...
Yeah, well, they say they don't know what these drones are. But guess what, though? As soon as you shoot one down, you're going to find out that they know what they are, because they're going to have the feds at your door. The government plan, I'm going to tell you, man, look, Joe Biden is the worst president. If you go back and you research presidents in history, he is the worst. He is worse than Nixon. He's worse than Obama. He's worse than the worst presidents we ever had in history. I just don't understand how y'all still got allegiance to this guy. I mean, I don't get it. It's got to be some brainwashing going on.
Lying, well, that would just be par for the course. So let's assume they're lying, to our faces because, they don't value or respect the American people. And that is exactly why Democrats got wiped out in November and why Biden is now considered probably the worst president in the modern era.
Check on that bounty program to get that $1,000. Like, share, subscribe. Drop a couple dollars if you can. Buy a nigga a coffee, whatever you want to do. But I'm just trying to get the word out, because 2025, we need to clean this country up. We need to get back to normal. We need to protect our kids and protect our borders, protect our country before it's too late. Teddy Mack, I'm out.